Now for the next session, we invite Dr. Sharan Srinivasan to deliver a lecture on the recent advances in nutritional therapy. Dr. Srinivasan is a neurosurgeon.
Srinivasan, who is the head of the Department of Neurosurgery at Bhagavan Mahavir Hospital in Bangalore, and he is also a visiting professor at the Television University in Bolivia. And one of the most interesting or important contributions that Dr. Srinivasan has is the awake jitter surgery in patients, and in which has which went viral, and it has popularized him several fold. And also importantly, he has two very important patents. One is a novel and robust curriculum for advanced neurorehabilitation, and a system 2 is a system for methodology for assessment, prognostication and tracking recovery of damaged functional brain circuits. Now, since Dr. Srinivasan is involved in neurorehabilitation in a very big way, it would be really very interesting for all of us to hear from him the nutritional aspects, particularly in relation to the neurorehabilitation. Welcome you, Dr. Srinivasan. Please go ahead with your talk.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you very much for the warm introduction, sir. And at the outset, I thank Howrah, the Critical Care Forum, to have given me this opportunity to give this talk. Before I get into critical care nutrition, I want to give you a few tips of what I do. This is an award I won for the software that we built for monitoring the brain circuits. This is a patient who was having this problem before surgery. He was having cramping in the head. As you can see, he can't play the guitar, what Professor Rimban said. So I fixed a frame to his head. I did an awake surgery. This is him playing guitar during brain surgery. And as you see, as he's playing the guitar, the hand fingers are getting better. So this was surgery I did in 2017. It went viral all over the world. I'm known worldwide as a guitar surgeon. But this is what burning circuits of the brain is my business. So he also had difficulty in typing. He got better during surgery. It's all awake surgery, fully awake. 9 centimeters inside the brain in the thalamus. That's how deep I go to burn circuits in the brain using technology. This is him playing his first performance after that. Since the volume is not good, I'll jump to the next. This guy, many of you will see this patient, cervical dystonia. He's a businessman, normal, till his age of 53, developed this. Mentally alright, but neck is going like this. Post surgery, completely okay. Again, a burning circuit in the pallidum of the brain. It's called the GPI, globus pallidus interna. Like this is very common. All of you would have seen Parkinson's patient. This lady has this tremor for 7 years before I operated her. Very severe, not responding to medicines. That's how it was. So I had to burn the BIM nucleus of the thalamus. Just watch the hand tremor as I'm burning the circuit. Keep watching the hand. I'm burning the circuit. Boom, it stops. So it's as amazing as that. What happens? Thanks. It's very exciting to do this kind of work. These are all low-cost surgeries. I am one of the few surgeons doing this because this is 1/5 the cost of putting a DBS in the brain. Most of you know about putting an implant called the pacemaker in the brain. Many of our Indians can't afford this. I don't put any pacemaker in the brain. It's 1/5 the cost. And no implant, no follow-up, nothing is happening. So I train in Japan for this, so it's very good for a country like India. This is her post-op. No tremor. Been 4 years now, she's absolutely fine. Left hand. Now, everybody says burning both sides of the brain is very difficult, very risky. I agree with that. I want to tell you that I am the only neurosurgeon in India burning both sides of the brain currently. You know, I do it either staged or otherwise. This is a Parkinson's patient, he's a tailor. Look at him, his classical gait. Classical Parkinson's, left more than right, tremor, rigidity, akinesia, he's got all the symptoms. You can see more on the left side. He told me he wants the left side fixed first. So I did a right side pallidotomy for him. 18 months out of the first side surgery. Look at him. Look at the gait, how much is improved. Right side is fine. Arm swing is already better. Obviously, right side is still having symptoms. Left side no tremor, right side tremor. Left side no tremor, right side tremor. This is 18 months out of the first surgery. Then He pushed me to surgery between the two waves of COVID. He said, sir, I want to get more better. Please fix the other side. Patient came demanding for surgery. I said, you're in the middle of COVID, sir. No, sir, you do something. So I did that. This is in 1 month after the second surgery. Absolutely no tremors. You see, he's getting up and walking. Look at the gait, look at the balance compared to the first time. It is just amazing. This is him back at tailoring. He's able to cut, he's able to stitch, he's able to do all of those things. And then he's working as a patient coordinator in a government hospital. Even under a stressful situation, you see no tremors, no anxiety-related tremors. He's doing well. And this is him now. Look at his, remember the first time, the way he walked, look at the way he's walking, the confidence is just amazing. Burn circuits, both sides of the brain. One side what's called the GPI or pallidectomy, other side is called the pallidothalamic tractotomy. Many of you have read this in anatomy. These are circuits we're actually targeting. Okay, so this is the last case before I go into critical care nutrition. This boy had a road traffic accident, 2020, 18-year-old guy. Managed 70 days in another hospital ICU. When he came to me, he had lost 25 kilos. He was 35 kilos weight, GCS 5, completely caught like this because nobody had done physiotherapy for him. Very, very severely done. This is how malnourished he looked. So I had to, he had severe spasticity all 4 limbs. So I do another thing that's called intrathecal baclofen pump implantation. So I implant intrathecal baclofen pump in the abdominal wall. The catheter goes into the spinal canal, over the spinal cord. Over time, this fellow was written off by the other doctors. Over time, he improved, he woke up, he started talking, he started closing his tracheostomy, started playing chess, fully awake. You will see him sending messages to her on WhatsApp, zero grammar mistakes, very clearly contextual. He's having, he's doing his own physiotherapy. He still has some right spastic impulses I'm trying to fix. He's cutting his birthday cake. And that's him. Look at him, hand was like this, he's able to change channels on the TV, put the remote down, pick up a chip in his hand, and then do that. He's doing very well. So, just want to give an introduction of what I do. Mine is the only organization in India today running neuro rehabilitation from the ICU till the community. I am keeping patients in hospital for 1 year, 6 months, 8 months, 14 months, people are to me on feeding. So it's a very different game than what I saw the discussion happening here. I have patients for months together on enteral feeding through the tubes. It's a very different situation compared to what it is. My experience with critical care nutrition started in 1996. That means this is the 27th year I'm practicing critical care nutrition on the ground. I must have practiced this on, thousands or maybe even more than 1 lakh of patients in the last 4 months. Right now I have 45 patients under me in the hospital. Or 70, out of it, 70% of them are on parenteral feeds through the tubes. So I realized at that time when I was practicing neurosurgery, there was no critical care physician. There was no intensivist. The ICUs were being managed by anesthetists. So we had a 20-bed neurosurgery ICU with 14 ventilators, and we were in charge of the ICU. I was putting central lines, I was putting subclavian lines, intrajugular, arterial lines, ICD, intubation, all those things. Gone through all of those stuff. Then I started seeing my patients having nutrition-related problems, bed sores. 3 people died because of bed sore. 1 fellow had maggots in the bed sore. I personally poured turpentine into the wounds. I've seen maggots coming out and dying. I've seen 3 patients dying because of bed sore. I've seen the head of the femur exposed because of bed sore. I've seen the sacrum exposed because of bed sore. Then I realized what the hell is going on here. The wounds are not healing. Then I know that there's something was going on. At that time, the TPN was not as good as it is now. The protein was coming separately, the fat was coming separately, lipids were coming separately, and the glucose was coming separately. You need to use a triple lumen catheter centrally to put it in. In fact, I learned to put a subclavian line only because I had to give triple lumen catheter to give the parenteral nutrition 1996. There was only one anesthetist in the hospital that time, Manipal Hospital, Bangalore. He refused to teach me. I was a student at that time. I went to the library, brought the book, how to put the subclavian line, opened the book, looked at the book and put the line. I said 2 hoods to you. After that, I taught all my juniors to put the lines. So that's how it is. And that's how you go through the process and understood. So I've done all of this. So that is the key. So I'm only going to show, there were no guidelines at that time. What I'm showing you is what I've done for thousands of patients for the last 27 years. How much of practical knowledge did you get during a training on nutrition? I'm not sure. I honestly don't, I'm not sure. Did we read some theory? Of course we did. Calories, proteins, etc., etc. Honestly, MBBS have too many more important things to remember. Not calories for sure at the end of the day. Neurologically ill patients need nutrition, critical care, which is in ICU and subacute care, and chronic care during neurorehabilitation also. So, I'm thinking all of you would know about this. I just want to touch upon this. Hypercatabolic response to stress, catabolic, early anabolic, anabolic. All my patients go through this. So you need to read this very, very importantly, because if you do not read this on the ground, you have no clue where the patient is. And this determines which direction the patient is going to go. So, critically ill patients are complex. We've been hearing all of that. I'm not going to talk about that again. The previous speakers have dwelled a lot on that. Effects of catabolism. What are the effects? A double whammy. You get a calorie deficit and you get a protein deficit. Together, there's a massive protein, energy, and malnutrition that's happening. And that is devastating. So we know about this. So many changes happen because of the loss of lean body mass. Neoglucogenesis, one of the big things that the reason because of which causes the muscle mass loss is because you have non-glucose sources of calories that's coming. Effects of catabolism, you know all of this, I'm not going to waste my time on that. What happens eventually is sepsis and multi-system organ failure. I've seen so many people, I see doctors saying, MSOI, multi-system sepsis. You know, there's a level of cynicism and acceptance. I said, wake up guys, my patient did not come with sepsis, he came with a head injury. Who gave the sepsis? The hospital gave the sepsis. This is the truth of the process. This is the gift we have given and we are charging him for it. It's not acceptable. We need to know what is going on. How can we prevent it? So that's what got me thinking. Because my patients shrunk like this in the ICU. We have patients in the ventilator for 1 month. 1 month is hypercatabolic is too much. So we know about this data. I'm just going to jump through all of this data. Just for your information, a closed head injury, non-operable head injury, which is GCS of 8 or less, the metabolic requirements in the first 2 to 3 weeks is akin to third-degree burns patients. How many of you know this? Most of you may not know this. Maybe some of you know this. The third-degree burns patients, that's how catabolic they are. Then, nutrition in the ICU, neurosurgery patients equal 1.2 to 1.6 times more nutrition than when they were normal. Both macro and micronutrients, protein and energy. How? Enteral versus TPN versus partial parenteral nutrition. Shall we see? Let's not complicate things. This is similar to, if I ask all of you, 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody in your house complains of left side chest pain. What do you think? MI? You rush to the hospital. You don't go to a gynecology hospital. You go to the hospital, ask for cardiology, do ECG, do this, that. The whole drama happens. The truth is 90% of the time, his chest pain is non-cardiac. It's only 10% that is cardiac chest pain. The same 2 o'clock in the morning, same person complains of headache. What do? Take a side, don't trouble me till morning. Heart is important, brain is not. Similarly to nutrition. From 1997, in my treatment notes, nutrition used to come as a part of therapy. People laughed at me. They said, what are you doing so much? I'm not exaggerating. You talk to any nutritionist, intensivist in Bangalore, they will tell you this. From last 27 years, I've been following it myself. So just dump all of this. So we know entering will contribute to better outcomes in TBI, stroke. So nutrition screening in all ICUs to be done. Within 24-48 hours, I start entering nutrition full-fledged. I heard some of the speakers saying, I wait for a while for parenteral nutrition, I'll start slow. I do not do that. Within 48 hours, if I've not started full complement of enteral feeds, I start TPN. Because my patient cannot afford a negative nitrogen balance even for 1 day. It is catastrophic. My wounds will not heal, the wound will give up. When I've done a decompress cranial, there's only skin there. Skin doesn't heal, I'm in soup. So it's very important for us to know that. So that's what we do. ICU stays longer. So they need to know all of these things, how to decide. So protein loss is very important. Swallowing disorders. Many of our patients, especially post-recirculation stroke patients, have swallowing issues. So how many of you are checking whether they're aspirating? Before we do that, for every patient of ours, before we start oral feeds in our hospital, we do modified barium swallow. We make sure that they're not aspirating. We have evidence to know what is going on. And based on that, we start feeding with the tracheostomy in place. And once they are safe, then we take off the tracheostomy. Endocrine disturbances in TBI, just covering it up for the covering. Challenges in providing nutrition, like I said, swallowing. Sorry, there's some repetition slides. We have also seen good nutrition, whether in children or adults, improves better cognitive outcomes. The memory is better, we know about that. That's why the midday meal scheme started in children very, very importantly. That's what's going on. How do I do it? Before initiation, we need to look at the weights, look at many of those things. In a critical setting, these markers are very important. For me, I look at the skin texture. How does the skin look? Is it looking healthy or unhealthy? I look at the buccal pad of fat. For me, the buccal pad of fat is the last to go, the first to come. See, if the buccal pad of fat is gone, I know he's grossly malnourished. And when I'm looking at him getting better, I look whether this is filling up. Very easy, very simple, bedside stuff that you can do. Look at wound healing, look at third spacing. Otherwise the third spacing goes away. A lot of people, you can see when third spacing is happening, they keep giving Lasix. You don't need to give Lasix, it's hypoalbuminemia. The moment you correct the albumin, the third spacing disappears by itself. It goes back into the intravascular space, and then they'll have a negative fluid in the output, and then they're done. Look for muscle wasting. The muscle wasting happens, respiratory muscles, they don't come off the ventilator. That's another problem for us, they become ventilator dependent. Wound healing, we spoke about that already. Even now, for me, serum albumin is a very important marker for me. I continue to use it. There have been a lot of controversies, I know about that. I love to do that. So this is what we do. Depending on the next requirement. I was telling you all of that. Looking at the weight of the patient, you obviously can't weigh an unconscious bed in patient, but we have a sense of what's going on, and that's what it is. Skin texture, muscle mass, buccal pad of fat, third spacing, blood chemistry, HB, serum albumin. And urine albumin. I did this study when I was a student. The moment in the initial hypercatabolic phase, the urinary protein is 3 plus, 4 plus. Because the nephron leaks protein because of the hypercatabolic status. You cannot stop it because it's hypercatabolic, because the catecholamine surge. All you can do is keep filling from the top. There have been patients who have given 150 grams of protein in 24 hours. No problem. Nobody's had renal shutdown. I've confidently given for weeks together on ground, checking every other day. So then I keep checking the urine protein. Urine protein becomes 3, 4 plus to 3 plus, 3 plus to 2 plus, 2 plus to 1 plus, 1 plus to traces to 0 has reduced how much I'm filling from the top. It's a very simple, like a bucket leaking from the bottom. How much is going out? I have to minimum give so much from the top. You know the phase of digestion, cephalic phase, gastric phase, intestinal phase. In our unconscious patients, cephalic phase doesn't happen, the urge to eat doesn't there, we are feeding them, because of which we need proteins like what, proteinase makes the aminase to make sure protein absorption is better. Refeeding syndrome, I don't want to spend that. Everybody's talking about one size doesn't fit all. Of course one size doesn't fit all. But the fundamental principles remain the same. So that is the key. Remember one thing, the last line is very important. Every patient of ours has a metabolic signature. We need to read the signature. Most of the times, with due respect to any dietitians in the room, they don't come into the ICU. They don't see patients, they don't do rounds. They have to do rounds, they can't sit in the kitchen. If your dietitian is sitting in the kitchen, they're a kitchen supervisor. They're not a clinician. They have to come like how I do rounds twice a day and see what's happening to morning, evening in the ICU. They have to come and see what's happening to my nutrition. I'll tell my patient, should I change it? It has to be dynamic. You can't come and see 1 week later. Impossible. It's not going to happen. So that's the metabolic signature has to be read. Oral, parenteral, partial parenteral. Advantages of oral, we know all about that. I'm not going to spend time on that. The key point of oral or gut feeding. When the gut is functioning, use it. Start feeding early. Even if a patient has a risk of undergoing craniotomy, I don't care. I'm going to start feeding. Worst case scenario, emergency craniotomy, I aspirate the food. The food from the right strip, but that's it. Nothing else is going to happen. Make sure the endotracheal cuff is inflated. Nothing more is going to happen. The gut pupils of malabsorption will happen otherwise. So we know about the deficits if you don't give. Advantages of total parenteral nutrition, everything gets taken care of. I continue to give parenteral nutrition until the complete complement of enteral nutrition is done, then I stop. I continue to give supplements until the patient regains the pre-morbid weight, even after they stay orally and go back home. Enteral nutrition, we know all of that, I'm not going to spend my time on that. There's something thing I want to tell you about is called turning the corner. All the critical care physicians will know this. There's a concept called turning the corner. Suddenly you see patient starting getting better. The fever stops. They suddenly don't, HP stops dropping. They look healthy. Wounds look better. They start getting better. That's called turning the corner. What is turning the corner? Turning the corner is from moving from catabolism to early anabolism. You have to catch that. Very, very important. Some of my patients, weight loss stops. Wounds heal suddenly. Some of the patients turn the corner in 3 weeks, some of the patients take 2 months, some of them never turn the corner. Watch it. If they don't turn the corner, one of the crises will fix the patient. So we have to be very, very careful to make sure they turn the corner. What do we look for? Weight gain. Very important. No infections. Suddenly the fever disappears. Number 3, progressive reduction of requirement of antigens. I don't know how many of you have seen this in ICU. When you have a hypertensive hematoma, first 2-3 weeks, they need 6 antihypertensives. The blood values are constantly high. When they come to do the follow-up, they're on 1. Same like a pregnancy-induced diabetes. The moment the delivery happens, the sugar comes down. Same stress-induced response, catecholamic surge. Same thing with diabetes. I have seen patients, diabetic patients in the first 3-4 weeks, requiring up to 240 units of insulin in 24 hours. And suddenly I start getting calls from the world. I'm sure all of you get a call, patients having hypoglycemic episodes. Have you all experienced that? Suddenly, I love those calls. If the patient gives a call from the ward saying hypoglycemic, I am very happy because he is turning the corner. I bring it down. I don't care what. Hypotension, very happy. Reduce the dose, I'm done. You don't have to get stressed about it. You do not know what is turning the corner. You get stressed, you start, I don't know, you do this, you do nothing is required. It is just the patient turning the corner. Obviously look for other things, but this is just turning the corner. Wound healing, very important. The patient's skin appearance and disappearance of third space fluid. Again turning the corner. So periodic checks. I do this every Monday morning for all my patients. Whether they're okay, they're not okay, I do it for all patients. I do not go by choice. I cannot look at somebody's face and tell his blood sugar. I can't look at somebody's face and tell his blood pressure. I have to check. We are doing evidence-based science. You need to have evidence to know what the hell is going on. Every Monday morning, what do? I look for the biochemical hematological test, HB, TC, serum albumin, urinary albumin, other checks. Whatever you think at the end of the day, based on this, I decide what is to be done. Weight of the patient, BMI, the buccal point of fat. Some few tricks and tips I can give you for 27 years of practice of critical care nutrition. Number 1, I continue feeding even your moderate coffee don't aspirate in the rice too. I don't care. Unless there's fresh clots, I give ice cold feeding. It stops. Because you keep the stomach empty, the acid is going to become more, it's not going to make a difference. So I continue to feed. Whenever there is fever, I give ice cold feed. Tepid spondylin is useless. It only reduces skin temperature, does not reduce core body temperature. You have to tepid sponge and keep the thermometer, might as well keep the thermometer on the tepid sponge. You get the same temperature at the end of this. Nothing to do with the skin temperature, the body temperature at the end of the day. So don't start complimentary feeds. I feed round the clock, 24 hours a day. I don't stop because the dieting department closes. It doesn't make a difference for us. Last 27 years we feed round the clock because I believe more nutrition. I'll show you how to calculate nutrition. I'm obsessed with the nutrition practices, especially in the ICU. How do I do it? Kitchen and prepared feeds is only psychology. If one message I want you guys to take home, kitchen feeds is psychology. I don't know how many of you remember when we were young, we used to get this mixture, we used to go to the doctor, they used to mix the mixture and give it to us. It's not going to work. We are in 21st century, there's fantastic feeds available, just control and done. So it doesn't matter to me whether the feed is coming or not coming. I feed round the clock. What 12 feeds are there, 250 ml plus 50 ml in 24 hours. You have to track it. I use only supplements. Scoop business. I'll show you the scoops. Advantages. Nutritionally dense feed. One idli, one boiled egg. Weight to weight the same. Nutritionally grossly different. So we have to understand that. I tell everybody, with the dietary, the feeds that come from the dietary department, if you and me that will become protein allergy malnutrition. Please keep this in mind. It just doesn't work. With due respect, because our patients require more. not less. And we're not feeding orally, at least for my patients. Use only supplements, nutrition dense feeds, use it to manage, user-friendly, guaranteed nutrition delivery. And obviously vitamin supplements going. So look at this. Now we have a big problem as doctors. Thank you. It's tragic that we practice the science of medicine. We charge our patients money, but we don't want to learn new things. It's sad. And that's no wonder you have all this violence coming in, because at the end of the day you can't do anything, because we are committed to patient care. And learning is every single day. This is what they ensure the people about nutrition, who are supposed to be the doyens of nutrition, give this on their label. How will you use? Please tell me. You don't know how to practice. All of you have bought phones. You got a book with the phone. How many of you read that book? Do you know what to do? None of us. Because we don't understand what the hell is in the book. We ask WhatsApp. That's all we do. We ask a user who has figured it out. So now what you see, per 100 grams, per scoop, per serving. This is the data given. What do I supposed to do with my patient? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Even Abbott doesn't know. Please understand. Even Abbott Nutrition doesn't know. I've asked them this. So I made my own case. Look at this. This is just data which is good. It's like intellectual masturbation at the end of the day. I'm sorry to use that word. So now this is the calculation I made. 25 years ago. 400 grams is the double of Ensure Plus. 400 grams, each scoop size they give. You know the scoop? This scoop comes with Abbott. They say this scoop is 8.59 grams of powder, not protein. So you divide 400 by 8.9, each dabba has 44.94 scoops. First data. That label doesn't tell you that. Number two, if I have to give 12 feeds, one dabba. For all of you know, if you go back here, look at this. If you see, let's go here. For 100 grams, it's 19 grams of protein. For into 4 is what? 400 grams is into 4. 19 into 4 is 76. If you give an entire tin of Ensure Plus, you only get 76 grams of protein. If you take a 70 kilo man who needs 1.5 grams of protein per day, 70 into 1.5 is how much? 105 grams of protein. Even if you give one full dabba a day, he is still protein deficient. How many of you have given one dabba of Ensure in a day in your life in one day? I give every day. For the last 23 years, I tell the patient relative, end of the day, this dabba has to be empty, so that nobody can cheat on this process. One Ensure dabba a day, for months together sometimes, until they turn the corner. Very important. So apart from 20-76 grams, the deficiency of 30-40 grams, I use proteinase powder. That's how this whole game is coming in now, because the absorption happens, additional protein comes in, and we have balanced this whole thing going on. And as I increase the proteinase powder, I reduce the Ensure Plus powder. That's what has happened today, thanks to the kind of quality that they have produced. Because of the aminase product that it gets absorbed, that's what we do. So going back here, the scoop is very important. So 5.4 scoops, this is what proteinase is per sachet. You see 20 grams per sachet. We start half sachet twice a day. We make it one sachet twice a day. Sometimes we make one sachet twice a day, depending on the weight of the patient, requirement of the patient. Very simple. It's calculation at the end of the day. The results: decrease and faster recovery from infections. I did this study in 1997 in Manipal Hospital. I found that the length of ventilation came down, length of stay in the ICU came down, length of the stay in hospital came down, decreased mortality and morbidity. Each patient saved an average of 40,000 rupees on the hospital bill. So this is the data we did in 1990s. Shorter on ventilation, shorter ICU, I just said all of this. Lesser bed source, lesser hospital bill. The central. So I'm just showing, I've done a web series to show about our thing. You just have a look at this. Oh, it's not, volume is not coming. The web series is called Beja Unfried. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Sorry?
Please hold the slide and noting it.
Sure. Which one? This? Yes, sir. Sure. I can thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share my experience. I love nutrition. I love what I'm doing. It's therapeutic. It's more important than antibiotics. Please keep this in mind. Because if antibiotics are so great, it doesn't work in HIV patients, it doesn't work in immunocompromised patients anyway. And if the nutrition is good, antibiotics not required. You spend more money on antibiotics when you think the nutrition is too expensive. I think you should spend more money on nutrition than spend money on all the antibiotics. This is the second take home.
So how is the GI tolerance of one dabba of Ensure Plus?
Sir, unbelievable, sir. No problem at all. Very rarely I have a problem. I've been doing this for 27 years.
Yes, I believe.
Very rarely. If you start early, you crank it up quickly, no problem at all.
If the patient develops diarrhea, what will you do?
So what do? I cut it down for some time, or I may stop completely depending on what is required. If he's not rotting feet, I start TPN parallel to make sure nutrition is going on. Then I start slowly. Sometimes I have to put some, what is that? Some of those gut mobility drugs. That's why I put that and restarts. So we have to do that, or I have to continue to give IV amino acids as a supplement if I'm going to give lesser protein into over time.
And sir, the Ensure Plus is having milk protein casein. Some patient may be milk protein intolerant. How will
Sir, exactly. When there's an intolerance, like I said, we have to find ways to do that. But if I take 100 patients and I have 3 people having problems, 97 have no problem.
Okay, thank you.
They have no problem.
Thank you, Dr. Sharan.
Thanks.
I know Sunday you had early morning training program also. Thanks for flying down to Calcutta. Thank you so much.